are trailing Spartak Moscow. What does that mean for their semi-final ambitions? The Russian outfit trying to get their campaign back on track. And if things were to stay as they are, it would mean Group B would be wide open once again. But the Mexican outfit certainly have the ability to overturn this scoreline. Spartak will be doing everything they can to prohibit that. What we haven't really seen, though, from Tijuana is the kind of form that they produced yesterday. Great tactics implemented by Coach Vashkevich. So far, he really hasn't afforded the opposition team that many opportunities. There was one long-range shot and the indirect free kick in the box that Club Tijuana had. I'll be hoping that the halftime team talk from Juan Manuel Roma has done the trick and they can get back into it. There's a slight delay here, and that's because they want to bring on a substitute. It's Aslan Mutaliv, who was on the receiving end of an awful lot of punishment, that is replaced by Kojidub, who actually started up front for the Spartak outfit yesterday. So we wonder now whether there's going to be a shuffle. Will he go out to the wing, and will Vlad Shitov continue up front? That all will become apparent in the next few moments. It does appear as though Shitov will continue to plug away as the lone striker. Here he is.
Now, an interesting sub, Mutaliv Aslam coming out. Of course, I think strength-wise it was not working for him. Kept on being bulldozed by the centre-backs in the left back. So you'd rather take him out early, put in someone who's got pace, who's got the strength to compete with the body structure that is in the field of play against Club Tijuana.
Foul here on Melnikov. This is in a great position for Spartak. Three interested parties here. Rabadanov has a goal to his name already. Melnikov, the man who was fouled, as well as Kojedub, freshly onto the field. Four-man wall assembled, and that's comfortably into the hands of Jimenez from the substitute. Good running from Rabbadanov, tries to turn. He's crowded out and it's cleared by Tijuana. Something to chase now for Lopez. Brings it under his control. Now, both these clubs in their previous appearance in this competition, Spartak in 2018 and Tijuana in 2016, won their second games of the tournament. Last year, Spartak opened with a 0-0 draw against Wits and then followed that up with a 2-1 win against Orlando Pirates. Club Tijuana in 2016 opened with a 1-1 draw against Mamelodi Sundowns and then beat Kaizer Chiefs 2-0. Actually, in 2016, Club Tijuana managed to make it to the semi-finals with a draw and a win after they were defeated 1-0 by Club Brugge in their third and final group game, which is a rarity considering that only the top team in the group goes through to the semi-finals. To go through with 4 points. They did lose in that last four matchup, 2-1 to Bidvest Wits, and then won their third, fourth playoff against Orlando Pirates. So they come here after a 2-year hiatus, knowing that they are capable of producing the goods in this competition. The same could be said of Spartak. Did decently last year. Looking to do better this time around, and that's a good-looking cross that forces the defender to put the ball behind. He must have felt as though he had no other recourse. Baltazar maybe got a call, but he knew there was a player lurking on his shoulder.
rather be safe than sorry. It's evident that Spartak Moscow wants to get a second goal early in the second half again. Maybe try and kill the game. So allow them.
Now it drops here and tight angle. It's going to be a fantastic save. It's still coming and it's an eventually. What an impact. Come off the bench and he has scored inside 4 minutes of touching the turf here. Kожedubp.
Putting Jimenez under so much pressure. He made the first save. Where's the recovery from the midfield, from the defenders? I did say that in the early stages of the second half, they wanted to convert their chances. There was a first shot, look, deflected, and then yes, Jimenez was there. But the second time around, he did not hesitate. He came in, Kожedubp, good power, strength by the keeper, but recovery. Centre backs needed to close down. So we can't blame the keeper here.
Also Jimenez in between the sticks for Club Tijuana is desperately unlucky really, because he made a wonderful point blank save to deny Nikita Glodman at moments after having made that stop. The ball snuck in at the near post despite his despairing efforts. He couldn't keep it out. Spartak 2 goals to the good, looking on course to record their first victory of the 2019 edition of Future Champs Gauteng.
And there's a mini knock on the head. No, he comes in. Less than 2 minutes in the game, first touch, and he knew what to do, the power behind the ball to direct it at goal. Like I said earlier on, yes, this coach has given instructions, get your early goals against. This coach was most likely given instructions in the change room that they need to capitalize on their chances, but it hasn't materialized for them.
Just confirmation that Jose Garcia has come onto the park. Opportunity for a third here into the side netting. So Ricardo Ihar given away. Opportunity. Vlad Shitov. Still Vlad Shitov. Can't get a hit right. This is Ihar. Only 15 years of age, actually an under-16 international for Mexico, or Mexican Select as they call it. The Club Tijuana are routinely producing good players. They have in their development rank 14 of their players actually living on site at the club's training complex, and across the club as a whole 18 of their players are internationals at various levels. They're making a bevy of changes here. It's Ramses Serrano, the man who will be withdrawn, and Jesus Rodriguez comes on in his stead. There's 2 in quick succession. Mario Lopez, the 16-year-old, was hauled off a little earlier. Good claim by Borishkin. Hurls it out. Good throw. Turned aside. Daniel Grigov, Rabadanov, out towards Saumov. Club Tijuana need to respond now. Borskin races off his line.
Tijuana making those crucial changes in very critical areas of the park, the center of the park, most of them, bringing Garcia Jose and taking out Mario Lopez, who hasn't seen much of the ball in the actual second half. But then the offsides of the match, and Tijuana has 3 and Spartak Moscow 2. So you can tell that Tijuana are trying to get forward, but they do push forward as far as the defense of Spartak Moscow. Offside trap is benefiting them thus far.
It's Baltazar with the cross in, and a little too close to Borskin, as Rafael Lopez attempted to latch onto it. 20 minutes to play, 2 goals up by Spartak. Last year's side managed to get the biggest victory of the 2018 tournament. They beat Black Africa Hopsol 5-0 in their final group game to book their spot in the semi-finals, where they went on to lose to eventual champions 1-0. It was against Club Brugge. Oh, what a shot! Will it come down inside the post? That was a terrific effort. No one could respond in time to turn it home off the crossbar. Powerful strike, Contreras. Borskin beaten for the first time today.
Oh, that would have been a thing of beauty. That would have been something spectacular. A good turn, good power, just the crossbar. Denied him everything.
On the corner in and over. Referee says it's going to be another corner. Well, effective from the last. What can they do this time around? And I think the ball had already strayed out. He curled the ball out and then back in again from the corner kick. Problems here for Kromin. Oh, we can't wait to see the shot from Contreras again.
Lower body knock, especially on the hip bone, bit of a challenge. Now, nicely whipped over the defense, but they were there to clear it off. Not properly cleared off, he made a good turn. The power, Domingo Contreras. Could have been something spectacular in this tournament.
He's so unlucky. Comes down off the crossbar, but not over the line. And Lopez was hurtling towards goal, trying desperately to turn that in from close range, but couldn't get there in time. Both these sides will have an eye on the later game between Wits and Club Brugge, hoping, of course, that Wits lose that crossover encounter. Chiefs in Beijing, meanwhile, who actually clash in our live offering at 1 o'clock, will also have a vested interest in that particular encounter. They will be hoping that Wits will win against Brugge to give themselves a chance in Group A. That's where the crossover dynamic becomes very interesting. Still Tijuana plugging away, attempting to reduce their arrears here, give themselves a chance in this game. Just over a quarter of an hour left to play. Spartak working it out from the back. Referee allows play to go on. This could be a good opportunity. Final ball is lacking, but still alive. And that is desperately poor from Christian Castillo. A 15-year-old has a great future ahead of him, but that was his weaker foot. He is left-footed, so perhaps we can forgive him for not quite producing his best.
But let's commend the combination of passes in the box, because they haven't done much of that, but they managed to pull about 4 or 5 touches, and then they took a shot at goal. So it could work for them, as compared to them playing them long behind the defenders, yet they do not have the height to compete for those high balls.
The sun in the eyes of the Mexican players, a little bit of a factor here. Good fighting from Rabadanov. That's lovely work. Confident play from Levchenko, man born in Astrakhan, one of the few that I mentioned that are not Moscow natives. Vlad Shitov from Yaroslavl, also born elsewhere. Now, could this be the third? It's just wide, and that would surely have put the game to bed. Vlad Shitov not able to convert.
The timing of his run, Shitov. Good switch of play, good touch laid for him, but there was just too much power on the ball. Indecisiveness from the keeper, of course. Jimenez not coming out on time to block that one. Was just unlucky that it went across the face of goal.
It's a 9th attempt from Tijuana. They certainly have not been clinical today. They've only hit the target 33% of the time. Stoppage here. Hard impact. I think it's connected with the chest and throat. Given a chance to start today is Shitov, after being resigned to a spot on the bench. One of 2 changes that were made.
I think the knee on the rib, actually. Unintentional, but you know how a knee would actually be painful.
Gingerly retreats to the sidelines. In the end, he only has himself to blame, really, for that injury. Did a disservice to himself, diving in like that. Referee's kept his cards in his pockets until now. In the meantime, it appears as though Grigorev will be making way, and Stepanenko, who appeared at full back in the previous game, will come on for him. Only a second change for Spartak. Castillo wants it back and is able to control it. Tijuana lose out. Contreras. Almost picks out his man. He's done it, in fact, and it's alive here for Rodriguez. Pushed out towards the right-hand side. Appeared to be held back there. And then he himself commits the foul on Kromin.
putting pressure on himself. Could have put in the cross earlier. You don't have the structure, you don't have the strength to compete for that ball, but you want to be as strong as the left back. Rodriguez, Jesus, simplify it, put in those crosses.
Baxender's man. There's Contreras battling away now with Kromin. Not allowing Tijuana to advance, and that crosses onto the roof of the net. He spoke about the strength, and it's probably a prerequisite for any Spartak Moscow player at any level. It's part of their game identity. Part of the DNA of probably one of the most famous players to ever turn out for the club, Nemanja Vidic, who played for them from 2004 to 2006. That was actually directly before signing for Manchester United, where he went on to have a really stellar career. And they are capable of attracting big name players, certainly. They are Russia's most successful club, having won 22 top flight titles across both the Soviet Championship and the Russian Premier League, as it is now. This is Rabadanov, who opened the scoring. Opened the scoring in both of Spartak's games so far. Stepanenko plays it into Melnikov. Melnikov keeps going. Spartak know that they will, although they look likely to get a win here, they'll probably never emulate the victory they got in their first ever Future Champs Gauteng game back in 2017, when they made their debut, becoming only the second Russian side to ever appear after Ruben Kazan. Now down and kept out at the near post. That is a good stop from Pavel Borskin with his feet, and still Tijuana cannot find a way through.
They're trying so many tricks, whipping the ball over the defense. Good one here, good header, but the cover from the keeper was good.
Janez not happy with his delivery. The referee didn't see that, but the linesman's flag alerts him to the fact that there was a foul, or at least a hindrance of the goalkeeper. So coming off is Sebastian Yanez, who's been on set-piece duty for most of the day, and Hernan Flores will come on in his place. It's a third change for Club Tijuana. I was mentioning a few moments ago their first ever game in this competition for Spartak. I was referring to a 15-0 when they got over the School of India, and Danila Prozhlyakov scored 6 in that game, helping him to a tally of 11 at the end of the tournament. We haven't seen a top goal scorer tally like that in many years in this competition. It seems unlikely it'll be emulated this time around. It's good to see players that appear on this stage going on to graduate. Top scorer 2017, just turned 19 recently. Plays for the Spartak reserves. Actually turned out in the second division of Russian football. Could be the equivalent of one of our ABSA Premiership sides having their reserve side in the national first division.
I mean, Lindy was highlighting earlier on at build-up that Gosimpile Ngobo is also from a future champs player.
Absolutely, he played in the midfield, including Wiseman Meyiwa back in 2016. They were protecting Jabula Blom, who was just been drafted into the Chiefs' first team setup. He was part of the backline in that tournament, and they came up directly up against Lau Foster, who also turned out as a 15-year-old in 2016, now with Monaco. Now, will this drop kindly for the scorer of the second goal? Smile on his face. I think he knows the game has already won, and he's been instrumental in winning it for his side, barring a dramatic turnaround from Club Tijuana.
Time-wasting tactics. Exhaustion may have kicked in. So you'll stay longer on the ground when they foul you, especially when you're leading. So he said no to his teammate when he was trying to stretch him the same way the conditioner is stretching his leg right now. Oh wow, he's able to jog it out.
Juan Manuel Roma spent 2 of his 15 years coaching at this club. Hails from Guadalajara. Now driving in field, looking to find a teammate. Finding Contreras. Didn't pull the trigger this time around, and it's yet another foul. Jose Garcia, the guilty party. Now, Club Tijuana, Xolocuentes de Caliente, a full name, struggling today. Spartak Moscow really haven't given them an inch. A senior team actually struggled earlier this season. The top flight in Mexico, Liga MX, split into 2 parts. Torneo Apertura, the opening tournament, where they finished 15th out of 18, doing a little bit better in Torneo Clausura. They are 5th after 11 games. They're coming off a 1-0 win over Monterrey, actually the 3rd place team at the moment. It's a little better from Tijuana. Lopez was waiting, now competing with the goalkeeper, eventually gets it in his clutches. Interestingly, Spartak actually currently 5th in their own league, a domestic league, occupying the last Europa League qualification place at the moment. It seems likely they will be able to hang on to it as Tijuana continue to plug away. They are a good 4 points ahead of their nearest competitor, Rostov. They drew their last game against Zenit, who are currently leading the standings. Three and a half minutes to play. Corner for Tijuana. Strongly away from Boruskin. If the Mexican side were to score now, then we'd be in for quite a good finish, but as time ticks away, their chances of actually getting something from this game diminish.
Yep, I agree with you. They came back very well, tried to play their touches, get into the final third, keep those short passes, but the interception from Spartak Moscow has been exceptionally well in terms of forcing them outside of most of the time.
The ball in from Contreras, and Lopez won't get the call in his favor. He took the last touch behind. It'll be a goal kick. Credit to coach Vashkevich. He's been in charge for just under a year at Spartak, a career coach. He's 36 years old and doing this for 17 years. Very similar actually to his counterpart in the Tijuana dugout. 12 years at Spartak for their current coach, and he's had various roles. Last year, his side was coached by Vadim Romanov, who was actually a former player, a man who's just appearing in your shot, a career coach. Romanov, a former midfielder who started with Spartak, before going on to play for another 9 different clubs. Tough old day at the office for Tijuana, and Ricardo Ijar, who's a particularly good player, really hasn't been able to show what he's capable of. The midfielder of Rabano Rabbadanov and Grigov, who's since been withdrawn, as well as Ilya Levchenkov, who's been sitting and dictating play, has been excellent. They've overrun the midfield of Tijuana. Still, they continue to press for another goal. They were ever so close.
If there's room for more, why not?
Corner to come. Rabbadanov. Decent looking corner. A connection from Gloitmund was powerful, but dreadfully off target. He was only about 5 yards out from goal.
Nowhere near turning his head towards goal. Actually punched it back to where it came from. Could have been 3. It was a free header.
Now some defending to do. It's Contreras using his strength. Goes back to him from Garcia. Need to pull it back. It's behind for a corner. A 7th for Tijuana. And quickly over to take it is Christian Castillo. We're about to head into the additional minutes here. It's 3. They need to score now. That's a strong header away from Tolstoptiatov.
That header shows you that they know that they are just a few minutes away from being winners of this match. Of course, getting the 3 points after a defeat that they suffered against Vets yesterday. So a confidence booster brings them back into the contention. They're still in it.
This result really suits Wits as well. The pressure would have been on the Clever Boys. Had Tijuana won, they would have moved to 6 points, and going into their game against Club Brugge, Wits would really have felt like they needed to get the victory. Not that they don't still feel like they do, and I'm sure they'll put in every effort to claim it. As Jimenez intervenes. More than 1 minute has already elapsed of the stoppage time. It's away from Tolstopiatov. Kostidub loses out, applies some pressure now. Ihar can't control that one. And that's Levchenko. Good game from Pavel Boryskin. Beaten 3 times yesterday and has hardly been troubled. Not to say that Tijuana haven't been in advanced areas, but he's shown conviction when the ball has been in the air. He's wanted it, and pretty much 100% of the time he's got it.
I agree with you. Calling out the ball most of the time. He's been vocal. He's been a vocal keeper in the box. Every time the ball is in the air, he's there calling for it, communicates with his defense. That's why they were able to actually master that offside trap, keeping that high line.
Beaten only once today by Domingo Contreras, but the woodwork came to his aid.
That would have beaten him hands down. He went for the ball, but he knew that he was not going to reach her.
Corner comes in, and again he's denied Tijuana. It was a chance for a consolation, but this has been Boryskin's day. Wow, that's a great save.
He comes alive. He stays alive. Switched on. They may have done it yesterday, but today, it's not their day. It's his day.
It's Spartak Moscow's day. They beat Club Tijuana by 2-0, and it's Pavel Boryskin, the goalkeeper, who has stood head and shoulders above the rest. Remember, he's not even first choice for this outfit. Their first choice keeper on national duty at the moment, but he is stepping up, my word. And he made sure that he kept a clean sheet with this moment in the dying seconds. he was slightly wrong-footed. He had to come with his opposite hand and slap it away, and it's great reactions from the young goal minder. Group B now wide open. Wits with 3 points, Tijuana with 3 points, and Spartak Moscow with this 2-0 victory move themselves to 3 and keep their semi-final ambitions alive. What a great old tussle it was. A goal on either side of the half-time break, and both came early in the respective stanzas as FC Spartak Moscow walk away with a 2-0 victory against Club Tijuana of Mexico.